Every car guy wants to turn one of these into the real thing. Now, you guys know this is a Ford Mustang RTR, but it's not important what it is. It's more important why it is, and why we've been keeping it secret for almost a year. Whew. The car behind me, we've been keeping secret for almost a year. And it might not be the craziest build we've ever done on the channel, but it might be the most emotionally significant and personal to me. And it all started 2 weeks after our fire with this message from Vaughn Gittin JR.
Dave, my man, what is going on? It was a pleasure to catch up with you at SEMA. As you know, we've been following your guys' rebuild in Ireland from the unfortunate situation that you had with your building, all your toys, and your rebuild has been extremely inspirational. And one thing that stuck with me from catching up was that you told me that it was always a dream of yours to own an RTR and that you would love to make that happen. So we chatted with the team and we've got an amazing opportunity we think you're gonna like. So as you know, RTR vehicles need to either be built at our factory or here at the lab or a certified upfit center. We don't have any in Ireland. That being said, we do have a guy that you might know, a four-time champ, James Deane, who has his shop that we have chatted with. We've given him all the training on what he needs to do to upfit RTR spec, and we're gonna make it happen. So we're gonna send him out the kit that he needs to upfit the Mustang and get you into an RTR Spec 2. I am so pumped, very honored to be working with you guys. Keep up the good work and much love from RTR.
So Vaughn Gittin JR was going to commission my own personal RTR to be built by James Deane, my good friend. But some of you might not know what an RTR is, so we decided to give you a little crash course.
RTR Vehicles was founded in 2009 by Vaughn Gittin JR as he set about designing, developing and manufacturing OEM Plus performance packages for Ford's product line. RTR stands for Ready to Rock, and Vaughn and his team took the knowledge gained from Formula Drift and applied it to cars that customers could drive on the street.
So now you guys are up to speed on what RTR is. I think it's time to talk about why that brand is so significant to me. When I first got into drifting and I got my first commentary gig, I knew nothing about drifting, and I ended up watching the Formula Drift Championship in 2010. That's 15 years ago. And I saw Vaughn Gittin JR's 2010 RTR Spec 5D ripping around the track. This is a relatively new car at the time. Now, while I love JDM cars, and I always will, there is something about US muscle that I think every car guy has to admit there is an attraction to. And to me, it was the Mustang. And to me, it was RTR. Because Vaughn was doing his own thing with them, he was taking these relatively new cars and smashing them into walls and winning championships. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. That car just was iconic to me, and it was my screensaver on my laptop for like 5 or 6 years, until through some crazy events I ended up owning one of those cars, the 2010 Mustangs, which Vaughn drove. I ended up purchasing one, bringing it to Ireland, and it became my competition car for like 2 or 3 years. I loved the car, I loved that it was RTR, and I loved the Mustang. But in modern competition, it just wasn't competitive enough. It was a little too heavy. So we had to sell it. And I was so upset when I sold that car because it sort of severed my attachment to RTR. I just had to be a fan again. I didn't have one. And a couple of years passed, and I thought it was so cool that James Deane would eventually get the drive with RTR. James being one of my best friends in drifting, and we've come through everything together. It was like my best friend driving for the coolest drift brand in the world. That just made Mustang RTR to me so cool again. And I started thinking, but as you guys know, you can't build one of these cars yourselves. They're all numbered, they're all special editions. So I thought about buying one from the US. I thought about lots of different options. And I think I mentioned it to Vaughn at a SEMA show a couple of years ago. And it was incredible to think 2 weeks after the fire, he remembered that conversation and sent me that message. So as far as it was crazy to say, I had to go find myself a Mustang to build my very own RTR.
So it's Ireland in December, which means Ireland is Irelanding, which means it's absolutely miserable out. But we're here at Ashford Motors because Nadia reckons she has the perfect car for this RTR build. Most car dealerships in Ireland are pretty boring, grim places, but Ashford Motors specialises in bespoke and performance vehicles, and Nadia is a bit of an internet sensation herself. So I knew this would be the right place to pick up the perfect car for our build.
So Dave, here she is.
We have a black Ford Mustang. So this is the color I wanted because I like my cars quite dark, especially my road car. And the idea for this car is not to build a mega spec, drift spec thing. This is a European RTR, so we're gonna go with a European spec.
Yeah.
We're going with a 2.3 EcoBoost.
Okay, don't turn off. Hear me out. There's a very good reason that I bought an EcoBoost and not a 5-liter V8. Number one is the price. So this car, secondhand, is about $20,000 more than a 5-liter V8 in the US. A brand new 5-liter in the US here in Ireland goes for over $100,000, which is nuts, but that's how our tax system works. On top of that, I wanted this to be a daily, not something I just drove at the weekends, not something for the track, something I could drive every single day. And then a fuel economy comes in. In Ireland right now, we're paying over $8 a gallon on fuel, which means a V8 car is almost unfeasible for day-to-day driving. But the 2.3 EcoBoost, I actually looked into it and really liked what it was about. The old V6s were a bit meh, but this thing has the same engine as the Ford Focus RS and the same performance as an R34 GTR in stock form. So I thought, what would be more unique than doing another wide-body 5-liter would be to do a right-hand drive EcoBoost wide-body and make it the first one in the world. Well, before we even got to James's, you know how we do. We had to do a little bit of modification along the way, straight off the bat, and you're gonna see this place before it was even finished.
So we're back at the clubhouse, and as you can see, we have gone back in time because by the time this video goes out, you'll know what this all looks like, and did we hit the deadline? And that's kind of scary to think about. Hopefully it's all done, you've seen it, and now we're back in time doing the first modifications in the clubhouse on our Equipco ramp with our SP tools. Boys are here because we have very little time and we want to get out of the way of the painters and the builders. But what we have here is an X-Force exhaust. You guys know we've done this exhaust system, similar exhaust system on the GT86 that Josh has, and we did it on the Supra. Sounds incredible. They're an amazing company. Brand new, shiny, and it's built for performance. So we have a mid-pipe, we have a downpipe with a sports cat in it, so we're not going to get any engine check lights, and we should get the performance gains out of that. In this, we know some fancy valve stuff. This keeps the car as a very, because it's a daily driver, something like reserved when you want it to be, and then mad when you want it to be, which is what I want. I don't think I've ever seen that many. I don't think I've ever seen that many bits for an exhaust before. I'll be honest, it doesn't sound like much the car at the moment, so I'm hoping this transforms it.
I've got a feeling with the flaps closed, it's going to be kind of similar, but then when you open it, it's going to be a good difference.
Do you think it'll sound like an SR? Hey, it's not a bad sound. Argue in the comments amongst yourselves.
So obviously when fitting an exhaust you have to do the before and after, so this is the before. Give it a tone, Dave. So that was valves closed, now we're going to open the valves. So it's a little bit throatier, but it's a Mustang, it's not throaty enough.
Not a lot going on there. It's a bit boring. So now let's make it unboring. Alright, so we have got the X-Force exhaust on, and we're now going to see if it sounds any different. We're going to start off first with the valves closed and see if it does sound a little bit spicy. Alright, Craig, let's hear it. A little bit throatier. That sounds good.
That's already actually
That sounds way better. So now we're going to open the valves. That sounds way better. Sounds unreal. Man, that is some transformation.
With the car sounding much spicier thanks to the X-Force exhaust, we were anxious to get this build done as quick as possible. All the parts had landed in James and we were ready to, well, it took us a little bit of time. Because in 2024, as you guys know, we were doing this. And James Deane was doing this.
James Deane is gonna be not only your champ, but your winner.
So by the time we both had our schedules lined up, it took a couple of months. But we packed the car on the trailer and headed to a very famous workshop in Cork that has built the most winningest cars in European drifting.
Hello, James.
Hello, boss. How are you?
Are you good?
Good to
I
see you.
feel like
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
You know, he's gone off and, you know, made history in the last couple of weeks since I saw him. Four-time champ.
It's been a...
And 2 days ago, you were in the Ford main factory.
Yeah, we're at Ford HQ in Detroit, meeting all the people at Ford Performance and all the people that support us doing what we do. Really cool. I'm just back home, exhausted. It's cold.
I always catch him when he's cold and jet lagged.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's kind of all the time.
yeah, it's kind of all the time for James. So we're going to bring the car in. This is her.
Sweet.
So this is a...
Well, where, man?
I'd say it's probably as quick as your FD car. Just giving it a spin there. It's but the idea of this is that we're going to make it look amazing, because this conversation started a long time ago, Vaughn. Before I think even you were driving for RTR, I was always kind of hinting at, I'd love to build an RTR, I'd love to build an RTR. And now it's all come full circle that you've won a championship with RTR. I have a Mustang again, but it's a street car.
This is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be really cool to see an RTR Spec 5 body kit on a street Mustang in Ireland.
In Ireland.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you're in America or anywhere else, this is like, okay, fair enough. But in Ireland, this car is rare, and the kit has never been seen on the road before. So that's why it's a vibe here, maybe compared to America or anywhere else. So I'm going to let you bring it in, because it's the sketchiest entry to a garage I've ever seen. I'm getting too used to the wide open spaces.
Yeah.
You can see all the RTR boxes in there. We're going to open them up and we're going to see what's involved in putting this thing to a full Spec 5 wide body. Realize that there is a lot of boxes. So
A lot of stuff here.
there's the wheels. This is our thing, and there's loads more boxes there, and then loads more boxes here. So
Yeah, you got splitters, grills, wheels, wide body, and you even got some stuff that you can fit yourself, Dave.
oh,
We'll take care of all the big boxes, and you can install
brilliant,
this.
yeah. Do you know what?
When you manage that?
He makes a joke of it, but I'm pretty happy that's all I have to do. Do you know what? This is like my Christmas morning, because it's before Christmas. Everyone's seen this after Christmas, but look at this. Imagine you woke up on Christmas morning and like that many boxes.
We should have got you a tree as well.
The tree, and I can sit up
there,
and
really.
get my pajamas on and just sit there open all my RTR stuff. Yeah, so unlike most kits that we get from spurious sources, this one comes with full instructions. So even for the fenders and the arches and everything, it's all templates and everything with it.
Yeah,
so like
for your cuts.
Because normally if you get a wide body kit, you just go,
Why don't we do this?
well, yeah, we'll just
An
make
educated guess.
now, and someone's done this and written it all down, so it's quite easy to follow. So this is one of my favorite parts of the kit is the grille. The standard grille is a little bit, looks a bit like a fence, I think, and this obviously has that signature RTR DRL that goes in here, so that's gonna like make the car look totally different at the front. So excited for that. Alright guys, I'm interrupting the video for just a second. It's a very important announcement, and it's not an ad, it's some big news. On the 23rd of February, Sunday, 8 p.m. GMT, we have some massive news dropping. You guys have heard us talk about for many years about wanting to build our own Drift Games track, a drift specific track in Ireland. Well, we've had a massive breakthrough in 2025, and it's happening. But all the details I will give you on Sunday the 23rd. Alright, back to the video. We are going to be cutting off quite a bit of this and putting this, that is very wide.
Yeah.
It's only when you see it like first you go.
It really transforms the look of these machines.
The back though, I think is even more aggressive. Jeez. Jeez. There's a sizable difference. Sizable difference in the width of the car. Might not fit an Irish parking space anymore. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. While we said about cutting up the Mustang, James also gave us some really unique gifts for our new clubhouse. We hadn't finished the clubhouse at this point, so it's really cool to get some heritage in a brand new building. Little present
for new space.
So we're going to put that somewhere in the new HQ. Nice. Everywhere we go, we get a trinket, because you know we don't have any. The history of our company goes back to April, so we need to get some more history. So we're gonna keep that. That's
And
cool.
that's from this year too, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of looks like our old place too.
Too soon.
Too soon. Can't laugh, you cry.
So that is, what do we call them? Aero discs.
Aero discs.
Yeah, aero disc from Long Beach last year. So
When you won
my first event driving the RTR.
in your first. So your first event ever driving the RTR.
First event ever driving the RTR. That's the.
Well, we are
aero
going to
disc
put this
from that.
pride and center in the clubhouse. We're definitely not going to just see if we can put one. So that's very cool. Thank you, James.
No problem.
Okay, now it's time to cut up the car. Now, this is a really expensive car in Ireland, so this is not a task taken lightly, but it has to be done.
No go back now.
No going back now. Here we go.
Are you sure, Dave? Are you ready?
You ready? Let's go.
That's a great cut.
The Nakai-san of Cork. Just sending her in.
Is that beginner's look?
Yeah.
For a bit of training for a week on the present.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Now, if we wanted to put it back on, Mike, that's a souvenir now. So 1 out of 4 done.
Yeah.
Let's go. While we've cut up a ton of cars and a lot of arches on this channel, this is definitely the newest and freshest car we've ever taken an angle grinder to. And this car is a complete street car. So James's team are going to have to be super careful and super precise to make sure everything is sealed up to defend this car against the Irish weather and elements.
So we left James and his team to work away on the car, and we headed back a week later to see the progress, thinking it'd be slow, but we were in for a surprise.
So we are back in a wet Cork. I'm excited to see what the boys have got done. The boys are all smiling at me here, so we'll go see what's up. Hello, James.
How are you, bud? Welcome back.
It's been a few days.
Few days. So it looks like the same day though.
I was about to say, it's been the same day for about a month.
Yeah,
So you said to come down and see the progress today.
Yeah,
And-
said come down to see the progress, and to be honest, we made some very good progress. And I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, you know what? Let's surprise them with the complete package, RTR, everything on your
done?
car. It's done.
That's like 4 days, James.
I know. We work hard down here. I
So
said it's coming up to Christmas. People like surprises. I thought you might like one.
Are you serious? It's done?
Yeah, it's done. It's done. So we can literally roll in here.
A bit shocked now. Did you know about this?
I did.
You're such a shit. You can take it home today.
You can take it home today. It's ready to rock.
Because usually I see it go bit by bit. I have a fair idea by the time we get to the reel and the video, but I have actually no idea what it looks like.
Yeah. Ready?
I'm nervous.
Here we go.
Oh my god. Like I knew I had an image in my head, but it's so much more aggressive in real life than it even looks in the pictures.
Yeah.
This man. Cause I know you
That's
did
a sleepy man.
So I know you were doing the paint and everything on this.
Yeah.
I can't get over how good the fitment is. Everything is so like it looks factory.
Yeah.
Everything looks factory on the car. Like the thing is, I've always been a JDM guy. You guys know, but there's a part of me that always wants to try something new and something different. I've always loved this shape Mustang.
Yeah.
Especially when we went to independent rear suspension and it's a bit more modern than the S197 I had as a drift car. I've always had a thing for them American muscle cars. But then I didn't want an American muscle car because I've driven some 60s, 70s stuff and you couldn't drive it every day. It's just too old.
Yeah.
But this is a modern car that you can drive every day that looks wild. And a Mustang is an exotic car in Ireland because they're super expensive here. So to see one that's actually wide-bodied and modified, I think it's going to blow people's minds.
Yeah.
But more so than everybody else, it's exactly what I wanted. Like I wanted something mean, black.
You've been excited about this.
James. 4 or 5 days and it looks...
It's transformed. And one last piece of the puzzle to make it official, your own serial number 82, signed by the man himself.
Well,
So,
thank you, Vaughn.
on behalf of Vaughn, I'll do the honors.
It's an official RTR. Not just the body kit, this is the whole package.
She's official. Well, where, Dave?
Oh man.
There it is.
Hope you enjoy it.
James, this is like a dream come true. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, RTR. Thank you, James. Thank you to all your crew.
She's a sweet machine.
It is absolutely unbelievable.
So that brings us to the present day, and a very exciting day because the car is now 100% completed. This is about 2 months after it left James Deane's because the weather's been crap. You know me, I bought more parts to modify it even more, and we dialed and styled a couple of things just to make it absolutely perfect. But after all of that, 8 months of planning, building, I can finally show you my one-of-one EcoBoost right-hand drive, wide-body Mustang RTR. I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so what have we changed since you saw it in James's? Well, I wanted to lower the front down, so we went for a much smaller profile on the front tire, a larger profile on the rear tire. I think it gives it that kind of muscle car drag look, so you got that big rear tire and then kind of a more sporty stance front end on it. I think it really makes the difference. We got our tires from Tire Streets in the UK. We kind of messed around with a couple of different things, but luckily they had so much stuff in stock. We kind of played around to get the perfect setup. And we also added these stripes all the way down the car. These are all RTR specific stripes. You can see them on the bonnet here as well. I went for satin black instead of being too flashy. You could always go green or yellow or whatever, but I like the meanness of the car and how aggressive it looks. So the guys at Precision Tint and Graphic printed these out for me, and we got the file from Vaughn, and they are the official stripes for the car. I think they just add that little bit of touch. You don't see them instantly, but then you do, and they add that little bit of flavor. But actually the biggest modifications we've made since you saw the car last are actually under the bonnet. So the X-Force exhaust definitely made the car sound better at the back, but I also wanted to play around with the fact that it's a turbo. So we installed this ram air filter, and we installed a Forge Motorsport sequential dump valve. We also added a tune on it, so it now has 400 horsepower, which is pretty cool from a 2.3 litre car and perfect for a daily driver. But I'm gonna stop talking, because you just want to hear it, right? As you can hear, it sounds absolutely awesome. And now it's making 400 horsepower. I've been really annoyed that I've been waiting months to actually get this out on the road. But trying to keep it secret until this video is nearly done, which means I gotta take it for its first rip, finally.
So I haven't actually driven this car since we bought it and brought it down to James. We were hiding it away, and it already feels quite different. You can definitely sense the width of the car is a lot wider, and the suspension is a lot more sort of composed. It was very wibbly wobbly before, but now it feels a little bit more like a sports car, which is exactly what the RTR upgrades do. So this car was pretty silent when I bought it. Let's see what all the upgrades have done. It's funny because it sounds kind of like a Silvia, which is brilliant because that's my favorite car in the world, is a Nissan Silvia. And this is a 4-cylinder. It sounds like a Silvia, but looks like an American muscle car. I know some people will disagree with all that, but there's something about dump valves and pops and bangs that I quite like, especially on Irish roads, because Irish roads are not like US roads or anywhere else in the world where they're just big as straights. Everything is a corner, everything's off camber, it's slippery, it's muddy. So 400 horsepower is loads of power. Any more than that and you're just spinning wheels. And the fact that it's rear wheel drive with a limited slip, it's a really fun car. It's pretty quick. I mean, 400 horsepower is not a small amount of horsepower. You gotta remember, most of our favorite JDM cars came with 280, 300 maximum. It's a little heavier, obviously, but like, it's plenty fast. It's good for overtaking, it's fun, it makes really good noises from the X-Force exhaust and the dump valve. Like, you don't have to sacrifice to just have the car do one thing, like it's just a good performance car or just a show car. It's kind of an all-rounder, which is what a perfect daily driver is. absolutely wild to me that I'm driving through Ireland in a car I first saw in America so many years ago. I just want to give a massive thank you to Vaughn Gittin JR for reaching out. A massive thank you to my good friend James Deane and his team for building an absolute dream car. I know this might not be everyone's dream car, but I think that's the beauty of cars, is that it's what it means to you, and that's all that really matters. I mean, this is exactly what I want to drive every day. Of course I could drive Skyline, Silvias, all different things, but there's just something about RTR, something about what it means to me and the history of this brand, and the fact that I'm driving around on my own public roads around where I live, that's just wild to me, and I just couldn't be happier.